You close your eyes and meditate, you're gaining more energy because your thoughts are no longer pointing outwards. Therefore, more energy is gained into your electromagnetic field. The next time you feel low energy, simply turn off your thoughts. World War III is not going to kill you. You never actually die. Your consciousness exists and operates outside of this physical dimension. If your mind can move forwards and backwards in time, this means your mind is not bound to the present moment, which your body is. You are not the body. You are the one controlling the mind. You are a higher being of consciousness controlling this physical body. Every time you go to sleep, you die. Daytime is life, nighttime is death. The summertime is life, wintertime is death. The universe is one giant macro and micro fractal cycle. It is one big macro and microcosm. Stop worrying about death. This is the biggest fear-based mind control that they have installed into our minds. You never, ever die. And knowledge is the only thing that you can take from this world. Have you ever wondered what that high-pitched noise is in your ear when you are silent? Well, it turns out you can use that high-pitched noise to do something very mystical with yourself. Your brain is not one system. It consists of two hemispheres, a feminine right brain, Isis, a masculine left brain, Ra. The brain does not produce consciousness. Consciousness is downloaded into the brain. The brain is a computer that simulates this physical reality. The noise you hear in your ears can be used to align the brain hemispheres, which will unlock higher states of consciousness, maybe even out-of-body experiences. In order to unlock your consciousness, the electrical system of your brains need to be working together and not fighting each other. And that's what that noise is in your ear. The noise in your ear is the noise of the electricity in your brain. By closing your eyes and listening to that noise, you can actually sync the brain hemispheres. Or you can do it in an artificial way. And when the two electrical systems become one, you unlock consciousness, which is the Holy Land of Israel. Isis, Ra, and El. The Holy Land in the Bible is not a real place, but a place in your consciousness where you can go to and rise above the thoughts, where it's eternal peace, no thoughts. Simply just meditate and focus all your attention on that high-pitched voice in your ears. If you do this long enough, you will have a very mystical experience. Israel is not the Holy Land. The Holy Land is in you. Isis, Ra, El. Isis, the feminine right brain. Ra, the masculine left brain. The Holy Land is when the left brain and the right brain join together, unlocking the Holy Land, consciousness, El. The word El means God. You enter the Holy Land by turning off your senses, your thoughts and emotions. When they're all turned off, you experience pure awareness, pure peace without the chaos of the mind and the body. And when you meditate, you will naturally align your brain hemispheres. The Holy Land is a place inside your consciousness that you can go to escape the chaos of the mind, the body and the emotions. Going to Israel, Jerusalem is not going to do anything. The Bible is symbolic. Jesus was not God. Religion is demon worship. If you follow a religion, you need to listen. Physical world is shaped by the mental world. This object was a thought in the mind before it was physical. All creation begins as a thought, then imagination, then energy, then physical reality. Thoughts shape the astral plane, same dimension you use when you imagine something and when you go to sleep. This is where spirits are. You have a personal mind and a collective mind of the whole world combined. And we all agree on a certain thought. This manifests as an energy in the imaginative plane. It will literally create a demonic consciousness because the collective consciousness is vibrating very low and we think negative thoughts. If you believe in Christianity, the collective thoughts of Jesus and the negative emotional energy we give him when we pray manifests as a whole collective being in the astral plane. You are worshipping a false god, deity created by the collective consciousness. True God is your soul, because your soul is connected to the source consciousness of the universe. The correct way to worship God is by aligning your mind and heart with higher consciousness and higher principles, and purifying yourself. Israel is not the Holy Land. The Holy Land is in you. Israel, Isis, Ra, and El. Isis, the feminine right brain. Ra, the masculine left brain. You enter the Holy Land by aligning your brain hemispheres Unlocking Consciousness L. Simply do this just by meditating. You enter the Holy Land by turning off your senses, your thoughts and emotions, and you bathe in the awareness of pure consciousness, escaping the activity of the mind, emotions and senses. The Holy Land is not a real place, but a symbolic place inside your own consciousness that you can enter and escape everything. The next time you feel overwhelmed and thinking too much, just simply meditate, turn off everything, and you will bathe in the Holy Land inside your consciousness. We've all seen the viral videos of me decoding the Bible. I've just found something in the Gospel of John that is going to blow your mind. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God. This word is not the vibrational frequency of word. This teaching stems back to the Hermetic philosophy. All is mind. Everything is a mental creation of the all. Every physical object in this physical plane began as a thought in the mind. The word is not vibration, but the inner mental dialogue inside of us. If you close your eyes, before you kick a football, there is a decision, an energetic shift inside of the mind or inside yourself. This command is the true you, the universal consciousness. The word that created all creation is the mind of God. All creation is an emanation of the mind. You possess a small mind, a small version of God's mind. It's not a coincidence this was on John 1:1. 1:1 represents the two pillars of masonry, the inner world and the outer world. The inner world of consciousness reflects outward in the outer world of matter. They are mirrors of each other. 11 is the number of creation. Jesus is not going to save you. Allah is not going to save you. Buddha is not going to save you. No one is coming to save you. You have to save yourself from the emotional chaos, from the mental chaos, negative thoughts, the internal trauma that you are experiencing. Is have to look within yourself and control the mind. And when you can control the mind, you will control your whole reality. You have to save yourself. Believing in a man in the sky will take you nowhere in life. Have an amazing day. As above, so below. 7 planets give you the 7 chakras, the 7 metals, the 7 days of the week. Sunday for the sun, Saturday for Saturn. The 12 zodiac give you the 12 cranial nerves, the 12 systems in your body, and the 12 cell salts. The universe is fractal. Everything mirrors itself. 0 and 1 is the binary code, which is in the male and female. 5 fingers for the 5 elements. 5 points on your body for the 5 elements. They demonize the middle finger because it's the element they hid, ether. Invisible field that all energy comes from and returns to. It connects everything together to Githa. As above, so below corresponds with everything. This means you are God in a small form. You are made in the image of the stars. Pope's dress has 33 buttons for the 33 vertebrae on your spine. Jesus was crucified in Golgotha, which means the place of the skull, because you crucify yourself and you raise your kundalini to the brain, past the 33rd vertebrae to the skull, which activates unused parts of your brain, heightens your intuition, and allows your brain to process information quicker, making you become enlightened. Crucifixion of Jesus never happened. It's symbolic of the renewal of your consciousness, crucifying your old self to become enlightened and fully awakened. You have to crucify your lower self, raise your kundalini, and activate your higher self. I'm going to prove to you that the church is scamming every single Christian in the world. Church tells you that heaven is a place after death, which is completely false, and the Bible tells you this. Corinthians 15:50, I declare to you, brothers and sisters, that flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of God. Flesh and blood is your physical body, and you are not this physical body, which means your emotions, your spirit, and your mind can enter the kingdom of God, which means the kingdom of God is a state of internal consciousness, mind, spirit, and emotion. Most people live in hell. Hell is where your mind and emotions are giving you trauma. People suffer from mental illness, from emotional chaos. The kingdom of heaven is when you control your mind and you have good thoughts. You have a high state of consciousness where you have control over your inner world. The Bible is encoding this wisdom so that you can actually become a powerful being instead of suffering from your consciousness. Christians will never ever realize this. The vagina is a portal into this physical world. She is magnetic, she attracts. Man is electric, he is action. She represents the moon, the subconscious, emotional and indirect. He represents the sun, the conscious mind, direct and logical. Females speak subconsciously. If she is hungry, she will say, "Are you hungry?" Males speak directly. If they are hungry, they will say, "We're getting food." Direction and indirection, lines and curves, the binary code of reality, 0 and 1. Physical world is governed by electromagnetism. Everything is either electric, direct, or magnetic, indirect. Everything in the universe is connected and has either electrical or magnetic qualities. Everything follows the code of the atom. If you want your relationship to thrive, just study the subconscious and the conscious mind and their relationship with each other. You will then understand how the opposite sex in your relationship functions. You can't be spiritual and want material things. And if you believe that, then you are entirely misled. New Age spirituality will tell you it's bad to want these material things, to want richness in your life. What do you think consciousness is for? It's to experience physical reality. You have been turning thoughts into a physical reality your whole life. You're doing it right now. Every time you type on the screen, you're turning a non-physical thought into physical reality. You are a creative power, a creator. You should want the best possible life with an abundance of everything in your life. However, do not rely on these external things for happiness and validation. If you like cars, go and get yourself your favorite car. But don't rely on these things. These things are temporary. Your consciousness is eternal. Don't listen to anyone who tells you these things are evil and you shouldn't want them. If your validation and happiness comes from within, then it's okay to have these things in your life. Writing is a rite, which is a ritual, because writing words conditions your subconscious mind. Your signature is sign your nature. Your signature is your sigil. Think of me, revival of wisdom. You have an idea in your mind. That idea is an energy, a thought form, and this signature represents that thought form energy. In magic, you use symbols to impress your subconscious mind with different thought forms to create that reality. Breath has eth, which is ether. You don't just breathe air, you breathe in ether, which is life force, consciousness. Yahweh is the inhale then exhale of breath. Just listen closely to your breath, you'll hear it. Death has the word ether in it, because all energy, all life comes out of the ether and returns back to it. Life is an infinite cycle of energy. Life rearranged is file, being recorded by the eyes and stored within the subconscious mind. Sacred rearranged is scared, because they made you scared of all of the sacred symbols, so that you don't do your research. Words hold secret esoteric meanings. You'll never understand what I'm saying unless you study them. Why is it the ancients were so obsessed with these mythical creatures? A man, an eagle, a bull, and a lion. We even see this in ancient Christianity. The bull is Taurus. Leo is the lion. The man is Aquarius, and the eagle is an old symbol for Scorpio. These are the 4 fixed signs of the zodiac. These 4 signs represent the middle of each season. Each one of these signs corresponds with an element. In the esoteric world, they teach you that you have 4 bodies and not 1. And your 4 dimensions correspond with the 4 elements, which also correspond with the zodiac signs. Aquarius is an air sign, which represents the mind. Taurus is an earth sign, which represents the physical body. Leo is a fire sign, which is the spiritual body. Scorpio is a water sign, which is the emotional body. These mythical creatures never actually existed. They're showing you the 4 dimensions of your soul. Aquarius the mind, Scorpio the emotions, Taurus the physical body, and Leo the lion, the spirit. These depictions are showing you the 4 different bodies of your soul. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Leo, Taurus, Aquarius, Scorpio, the spirit, the body, the mind, and emotion. Each gospel shows Jesus according to the different body of consciousness. All of this symbolism in the Sumerians and the Bible is talking about you. Demon is a D-mon. Mon is moon, meaning emotion. D means negative. Demon is a negative emotion that possesses your mind, body, and spirit. Every thought you think becomes an emotion. Emotion is energy in motion. You create your own demons by directing thoughts into a specific emotional form. Demons are just negative aspects of your own psyche, little voices you've created in your subconscious that control you. Thoughts turn into imagination. Imagination is the body of thought. Imagination is a dimension called the astral plane. Your negative thought forms have created demons in the astral plane. Every addiction you have is a demon, an astral entity you've created and given life to by your thought and emotional energy. This is why we all have our own personal demons. They are not some external force, they are aspects of your psyche. They are trapping your soul in the earth. You do not experience the external world. What you feel is electrical impulses on your nervous system. What you visually see is light entering the eyes and the image produced at the back of the brain. You're experiencing a simulation produced by your brain and central nervous system, which means that the body is the earth. You are God. Generator, operator, destroyer, the mind, soul and body. The mind's the projector, the soul's the observer, and the body is the dimension. This body is allowing your soul to operate in this physical dimension. It's a vehicle. They programmed your mind to believe that you are only a physical being to trap your mind and soul in this physical world, in this physical body. But you are way more than just this physical body. The only way to escape is through astral projection. The matrix is not physical, it's a limiting belief system that lowers our state of consciousness, programmed our minds to be attached to the physical world through money, clothes and fame. To keep our minds locked in the external reality, you must go within to expand your consciousness to astral project, to activate your light body just like the ancients were depicting. You can literally become a god and travel these other dimensions other than this physical world. That's why these Sumerian gods depicted themselves with two faces. Have you ever wondered why the word ship is at the end of everything? There's a hidden spell behind every word. Your body is 60% water, and you were born through your mother's waters. When a ship pulls up to its bay, it's called the birth canal. The ship gives birth to the products on the ship. When the ship arrives, it gets a certificate of manifest certifying all the products on the ship. When you arrive in your mother's water, you get a certificate of manifest, which is your birth certificate, because you are a product to the system. On that birth certificate, there's a date. That date is the Gregorian calendar, which is a copyrighted timeline created by Pope Gregory. Therefore, on paper, your name is a corporation and it's signed to a copyrighted timeline. When you get a letter and your name is in full capital letters, that's your corporation, not you. You can't tax a physical body, but you can tax a corporation. You are the I am, and your consciousness is identifying itself with the corporation, which is attached to the system. The word calendar comes from calends, which is the first day of the month the Romans had to pay their tax. God's calendar is a 28-day moon cycle. They made an artificial calendar to control you. Bank is a river bank, and money is water. That's why money in the bank is called a currency, because the banks direct the flow of the current. And that's why we call it liquidity. The English language is a giant spell to keep you attached to the system. Identifying yourself with the body and the name is keeping us attached to this system. People are always asking me, what happens when you die? I'm going to explain this for you in the most detailed way possible. When you die, you do not leave your body. Your body is producing a simulation that your consciousness is experiencing. So when this body dies, the simulation is no longer being ran, and you are left with your internal spiritual world. You have an external physical body and an internal world of thought and emotion. The internal, what you do not see, is eternal. The universe is mental. Everything exists within the mind. Every physical object you see around you was a thought manifested into reality. When you're stripped of your physical reality, you're left with the plane of imagination. Thoughts are just thoughts, but the bodies of thoughts is imagination. For example, thoughts are just the thought of a chair, but then once you imagine the chair, that imagination is the body of the thought of the chair. This imagination screen you have in your mind is a dimension called the astral plane or the spirit realm. Depending if you have a mind filled with negative thoughts or positive thoughts will depend what astral plane you will go to. Whatever you think is what you will manifest as your astral body. If you have negative thoughts, you will manifest as a low vibrational entity within the astral plane. To go even deeper, you can ascend out of the astral plane above the mental plane into the soul plane. However, I'm not going to talk about that in this video. You need to prepare for life after death because you cannot fulfill your physical desires in the spiritual astral plane. Therefore, you need to cast off any bondage and addiction you have in your physical world so that you can actually function and not suffer from not fulfilling your desires in the astral plane. So to put this in simple words, this is your external body, and when you close your eyes, you have an internal body. That internal body never dies. Why is it Taylor Swift has so much snake symbolism inside of her videos? We see this in Egypt. Snakes shed their skin. They represent transformation. Kundalini is a snake because it transforms sexual energy to the brain. The snake transforms Adam and Eve's consciousness to know good and evil. The pharaoh wears a snake on the head to represent transformation of the mind, because the head is where the mind is. This is called mental alchemy, transforming a chaotic mind to a powerful mind, transforming your belief system of doubt, lack and fear, which obstructs the creative power of the mind, to a belief system aligned with truth, possibility and higher purpose, which transmutes the mind to a powerful tool to create something. The snake represents self-transformation. This was the ancient wisdom before religions. We are all part of an infinite consciousness expressed in different life forms. We are all God. To know and understand God, we have to transform our consciousness to align with the God consciousness. You do this by mastering your mind and becoming a conscious creator, and transforming your mind and your lower animal urges. Religions were made to hide the truth about yourself. Jesus never said he would return physically. He said that the Christ would return, and the Christ is a state of consciousness. But what is Christ consciousness? Christ consciousness is when you have full control. You're not controlled by your thoughts or emotional impulses. Your mind is aligned with higher principles, morals, and your higher self. You no longer desire the worldly physical pleasures. You gain pleasure from higher understanding of yourself and knowledge. And you're navigating your life through your compass. Your heart is a guidance system. Every thought you think is being judged emotionally by the heart. And the emotion you gain off the thought is what tells you what is right and wrong. This is why we say follow your heart. Every time you go against your heart's internal guidance, you destroy your electromagnetic field, which literally ages your body. This is the true return of Christ. It resembles a time in the future when everyone is following the guidance of their intuition and their heart, and their mind is aligned with higher principles. You can wait your whole life for Jesus. He's not going to return. The whole thing is a metaphor. You ever wondered why, if you minus all of the numbers on a clock, it adds up to 6? Well, here's why. 6 is the number of time, space and matter. 60 minutes in an hour, 60 seconds in a minute, and 24 hours in a day. 2 plus 4 equals 6. That's 666. The cube has 6 sides, and this is the geometric shape that gives rise to physical matter. 666 is 3 sixes. 3 represents thought, emotion, action. These are the 3 aspects of creation. 666 is the beast. You are the beast when your thought, emotion, action is only going towards your physical reality, cutting you off from your spirituality. And then you become the beast. That's why 666 is 3 sixes. Now you know why you see 666 absolutely everywhere. It symbolizes worshipping this physical plane. And this physical plane is governed by the god of time. And time is governed by Father Saturn. In order to win the game of life, you have to understand this one thing. And that one thing is understanding that reality is not fixed. It's lucid. It's formless, and it's shaped by the shape of your thoughts. You become what you think about. And if you can control this temple up here, this mind, you all can control your reality. This is the number one secret. All is mind. Look around you. Everything began as a thought. Physical reality is crystallized thought. Learn how the mind works, and you will win in life. Why is it the Egyptians had so much rabbit symbolism? We even see a rabbit figure on the moon. The moon represents our subconscious mind. The sun represents our conscious awareness. The subconscious tells your heart to beat, your lungs to breathe, and controls every system in your body without you being aware. The subconscious knows everything about you and the universe. The ancient Mayans depicted the rabbit inside the moon. Rabbits are always symbolized with the moon. Rabbits dig holes into the unknown, the darkness. They are most active during the periods of sunrise and sunset, transition between darkness and light. The ancients depicted rabbits because it's symbolic of spiritually awakened people who enter their subconscious mind and explore deeper layers of their consciousness. Just like rabbits enter the void, you can enter the void, which is your subconscious mind. You do this by putting yourself in a trance. Wear a pair of headphones and place one frequency in this ear and a different frequency in the other ear. Place all of your attention on one sound of that frequency. If you do this long enough, you'll be in a sleepy trance. You know when you're just about to fall asleep and you're half in, half out? You're dwelling between the conscious and the subconscious mind. And if you can stay in this midpoint, this is the state where you can gain mystical experiences and unlock deeper layers of your consciousness, out-of-body experiences, and lucid dreams. The rabbit represents the explorer of consciousness. You can use the moon to your advantage. A full moon is very powerful. The moon is your subconscious mind, and your subconscious creates reality. For example, you don't post on social media to share with friends. Your actions of posting are coming from a subconscious force of seeking validation. Your actions come from hidden motives in your subconscious. So now imagine you reprogrammed your mind to seek success and growth. Imagine how powerful your forces of actions will become. Your action will be derived for growth and success. That's the power of reprogramming your mind. On a full moon, your subconscious mind is wide open. The ancients used to fast on a full moon because doing anything addictive on this day can easily become a habit. Use the full moon to do affirmations and feel your desired reality as if it already exists. This is the best time to change your mind and to reconstruct your reality. In order to escape reincarnation, the Egyptians are telling us through symbolism. This was not meant to be taken literally, nor was this a real person. It's all symbolism. Today, we use symbols such as letters to create words. These symbols we use are to represent sound vibrations we make with our mouth. However, the ancients were the opposite. They used different symbols to represent different thought forms, different levels of consciousness, and various aspects of life. Here we see Anubis. Anubis is the ancient Egyptian god of the dead. Now, he was not a real god, but he represents death, an aspect of life that we will go through. Anubis depicted with these scales. On the left we have a heart, on the right we have a feather, and these scales are equal, they are balanced. This is an instruction for when we die, because consciousness is for eternal. Because consciousness is eternal. Our physical body is mortal. So the instructions are telling us to make our heart to be as light as a feather. Our heart represents our consciousness, our soul. Most people die with a very heavy consciousness. Their mind, their emotions are still attached to worldly things. They still desire money, fame while they die. And when we die in this state, our consciousness is very heavy, still having many attachments to our heart, which is the reason why many people reincarnate. Because in order to pass on to the afterlife, to the astral plane, and to ascend to higher realms of the astral, you have to give up the worldly pleasures of the physical material world. Because in that plane, you cannot fulfill your physical desires, and you will suffer if you cannot fulfill them. And you'll end up reincarnating back to the physical plane. So in order to ascend, your consciousness needs to be as light as a feather. Just like the emerald tablets of Thoth tell you, each soul is weighed as to its light. If found heavy, it must return to the lessons of the earth. If found light, it passes into freedom. The freedom is the astral plane, where you can think and manifest anything at the click of a finger. Whatever you think, you manifest. It's the plane of imagination, that screen in your mind. Your imagination is your biggest tool for when you die. Third eye is not your pineal gland. It is not this gland inside of the human brain. People think that when they become awakened to their consciousness and they become self-aware, that their third eye is now activated. This is completely false. In order to activate your third eye, you simply have to do this one thing, which many people cannot do because we've been programmed not to. It is called visualization, imagination. Your imagination is a screen in your mind. It is the access to the astral plane. And this is what we call in the occult and secret societies call imagination, spirit vision. It is the ability to see beyond the physical world, see into the spiritual world, which is simply the astral plane, your imagination. If you cannot use your imagination, you cannot vividly see something in your mind's eye, then your third eye is not active. Third eye is your spiritual vision into the astral plane. To activate the third eye, you simply have to gain a strong willpower and direct the force of the mind to focus the light of your consciousness into an astral form. Visualization is your biggest power when you die. And in fact, when you dream, you're using your imagination subconsciously. So we always see this checkered board. You have to move towards higher understanding, not external knowledge, but knowledge of your internal world, the forces of consciousness, thoughts, emotions, visualizations. It's all about rising your understanding of your inner world and your forces of consciousness. Here we have a blueprint to build a temple. This temple is not a physical temple, but a symbolic temple. The temple is your mind. We must use our thoughts, emotions, and actions to actively use these tools to reconstruct our mind, our temple, and climb the ladder of higher awareness and higher consciousness. We actively have to seek into our inner world through meditations, trances, hypnosis, in order to unlock higher awareness of your consciousness and the forces within you. Most people live down here in divided chaos, you versus me, unconsciousness. People don't realize they have consciousness. They take it for granted. They identify themselves with the illusion of the material world. This is the illusion, the black and white checkered board. We have to rise from this illusion towards the light, higher awareness of self.